Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Laura Milligan, and it is my normal day to go live on Facebook. I go live most Mondays at 1 p.m. So, thank you for joining me. If you're new to watching my Facebook Lives, welcome. If you're one of my loyal followers, thank you so much. Of course, I'm always glad to see all of you watching and commenting. I just love that. Um, so, I have a card that I'm going to make for you today. And I have some exciting news that I didn't think I was going to be able to tell you, but I want to share it with you now. So, as you know, when you're a $1 million achiever like me, which is hard to believe, one of the things that you get to do, which I think is one of the best things, really, one of the best things, is that you get to design a stamp set. And I got to do that, and I have had to keep it a secret as to what it is, and I still have to keep that part a secret. But what I can tell you is that this week I'll be traveling to Vienna, Austria for Stampin' Up's on stage convention. It's global. There will be people there from all over Europe and the United States, of course, Australia, England, Ireland, Belgium. Trying to think of where else. Austria, of course. I think maybe Amsterdam. But anyway, from all over, and I have the huge honor of presenting the stamp set that I got to design. So I am thrilled. So when I get back, I'll be able to finally be able to share what it is and show you some of my samples and things. And I plan to do something fun when my stamp set is available. That'll be in January. So it's very, very exciting. So wish me luck. I love presenting, and I'm really, really looking forward to it and looking forward to a wonderful trip. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view down. I have a couple things I want to show you today, and then we're going to stamp a super cute card. Okay? All right. And if you are there, please give me a shout out. I'm going to take a sip of my lemonade here. 1 second. There's Judy, Colleen, Mary Jo. Thank you for joining. Anne, Carol, Anne Marie, Colleen, Debbie, Susie Q. So, first thing I want to do is show you. I got a cute card in the mail, and it was funny because this was from one of the ladies that bought the kits that I had put together, and she sent this to me with the check in it for an order, and she said that this is probably going to be the first Christmas card that I received this year, and it is. But look how cute this is. This uses the Memory More cards that I used last week for my class or for my Facebook Live. And you know what? I don't know where that card is that I made. I think I've already filed it away. But I thought this was super, super cute. This is from my friend Vicky, and these cards, you can see how she used one of the bigger cards here. These are the note cards and envelopes. And then this is the smaller one. And then these little sticker die cuts is what I call them, come in the kit. Super, super cute. So thank you, Vicky, for that. Then I just want to do a little reminder that today, wait, let me go down. I see new comments. Hi, everybody. Hi, Barb. Hi, Colleen. I know, I can't wait to share it with you all. I've had to keep it my stamp set, I've had to keep it a secret for a long, long time. So this is my Fitting Florets class. Today is the last day to register for this, and it is a great class. It includes a lot of product. You can get the I Want It All option, which includes designer paper and 2 stamp sets, a set of dies, some embellishments, and it's a really, really great class. I'm going to so what I thought I would do, I participated in a swap. I will link the registration information when I'm done with my Facebook Live today. I'll put that down in the description. But I participated in a swap with other demonstrator friends of mine featuring this suite or collection, I guess they're calling it, this collection. And so I thought I would show those to you today, maybe pique your interest a little bit. The thing about these products is that some of them are only available during the pre-order or the early release, I guess we'll call it early release. Parts of it will be available when the new mini catalog comes out in January. But in fact, you know what, let me just show you. So here is one of the stamp sets and the set of dies. And let me tell you, these oval dies are wonderful. And there's a lot of other little things for die cutting as well. Some coordinate with the stamp set, some coordinate with the designer series paper. This stamp set, framed and festive, I love this. It's all Christmas greetings, and I love the mix of the cursive with the printed font. I love the look of that. And that, as well as these are called, I think they're called like gold adhesive swirls, and they do have glue dots on the back, so it makes them really easy to use. And then this designer paper, which is, I'm just gonna do a quick little pull apart because you'll see some of this on these samples I'm going to show you. But they designed this so that not only could these papers be used in the spring and summer, actually year round, but they also wanted to be sure that these products could be used at Christmas and over the holidays. And that, so this paper, these, and this particular stamp set is available only while supplies last. And it is just gorgeous. When the new catalog comes out in January, the only thing you're going to be able to get from this bundle, from this collection, is this stamp set, framed florets, and then these dies. So let me show you. I'm going to show you the cards that I got in the swap. And so I thought what I would do is start with the ones that are more Christmas themed. So here is one. I love this. I love the fa la la on the background. I thought that was super cute. And you can see here a little bit of the designer paper. And then here's one of these little swirly gold embellishments. Here's another really pretty one. May this season be filled with peace and joy. And I love that they added the red rhinestones. And this particular designer paper, I will say, let me bring in a bigger piece here. This could possibly be my favorite paper in this pack of designer paper. And I've seen some people, I don't know if I have swaps that are going to do this today or show this, but I've seen where people are coloring these with like a red or a cherry cobbler blend so that they look like almost like holly berries or some kind of berries. I thought that was really pretty. Here's another one. It says Merry Christmas. And again, you can see they're not traditional Christmas colors, which to me makes it even more appealing. I like to do things a little bit different. So that's a pretty one. And then this one, you know what, I'm going to open this one because it looks like it's a fun fold. It is. Look how cute that is. Oh, and here you go. You can see how she colored in these berries with her Stampin' Blends. Super cute. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I love this gold ribbon. I love the touches of the gold glimmer paper. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so and those are the only Christmas ones that I have. And then let me just show you. Oh, good, Mary Jo. You'll have fun with those memory and more. Super, super cute. Okay, so these are more swaps that I received, and these are not Christmas related. They're just more generic. Thank you with all my heart. You can see 2 pieces of the designer paper there. Just a little reminder that you are loved. So pretty. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. It's really pretty. Love this one. You know, I'm all about white. I love white on white. Lots of white showing on cards. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. So pretty. Love this one too. This one just takes strips of the designer paper and then the big oval, of course. Thank you with all my heart. This particular flower here is die cut directly from the designer paper, which is always really nice. Makes it easy for us. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. Aren't these colors pretty? Look at the beautiful designer paper too. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. Love this one. I love these hearts in that shape. I think those are just so pretty. I love blue too. Okay. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. And again, you can see this is the one that it can be die cut directly from the designer paper. And here's a little check It's Evening Evergreen, and this, I think we all love gingham, and so that is on one of the back sides of the paper. And I love that she used the sparkly ribbon with that. I thought that was really pretty. Thank You With All My Heart. Here's another one with that oval of hearts. And this is pretty. I love the blue with the touch of gold on the oval. It says Celebrate. And then the last one, again, uses the buffalo check. 2 different ovals, and then this also is cut from the designer paper, and there's one of the little gems. So if you are interested in, maybe this kind of inspired you. If you haven't signed up for the class yet, maybe this will make you do it, but today is the last day. So here it is, and if you are a demonstrator, for example, and already have purchased the bundle or plan to purchase the whole collection, you can still buy my class for $35. It includes 6 different card ideas, and again, like I said, registration closes today. I can ship anywhere in the United States, and I would be more than happy to do that. It's really fun when I'm packaging up and shipping my classes. They go all over, and it's always really, really exciting to see where they're all headed to. All right, so that is what I wanted to talk about today. And then I have a card that I'm going to make today, and this uses the leaves of holly. Okay, so now I've got to unbury everything so I can find what I'm going to show you today. All right, so I'm going to make a card with the leaves of holly stamp set and the coordinating leaves of holly die. Oh no, they're called hollyberry dies, sorry. And this card, this bundle is what I used for my Christmas card Stampin' Sack to go. So if any of you purchase this is the card I'm making today is not one of the cards from the Stampin' Stack, but it will give you another idea. So, all right. So I'm going to start with just a thick white card base. I'll take my bone folder here. Okay. And then I have some parts and pieces. I'm going to use another panel of white, which is 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of the designer paper, and this is called Boughs of Holly. And if you took my Stampin' Stack to go, you're going to get a full pack of this. Full pack of 12 by 12 paper. Look how pretty. That's pretty too. That's a real soft, subtle. But look how beautiful these poinsettias are. And that strip is 3 by 5 1/4. And then I used, this is the second largest die from the Layering Circles dies. These are kind of a must-have. If you don't have these, you really do need to invest in them. So this was just die cut with the second largest circle. Here's the largest circle. You can see how they all kind of fit together. And the neat thing is these come with scallop dies as well, so you can layer them. I'm not doing that today, but I've done that many, many times. You can have a circle with a little scalloped edge hanging out, which is really fun. And then what I did with this was I used the Wintry embossing folder. Now this is a set of 2 embossing folders for $10. They're the 3-dimensional, and these are mini. They will fit into your mini cut and emboss, or as I like to refer to it, the baby cut and emboss machine. And so for this card, I have used these snowflakes a lot. I love the pattern on these snowflakes, but for this card today, I used the pine bough. And I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can hold it up at an angle. There you go. You can see the detail on that. It just adds a little bit of added texture. So that's the Wintry embossing folder, 3D embossing folder. Okay. So I'm going to start by just doing a little bit of stamping. I am using Real Red, Evening Evergreen, and Cherry Cobbler ink for this card. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp the holly berries, and you can see this is a 2-step stamp set. So you have like a solid stamp with the berries and then an outline. So I'm going to do the more solid image first, and I'm doing that in Real Red ink, and then I'm going to surround those or stamp on top of them with cherry cobbler so that you get a little bit of a contrast. But you can see how you do the same thing with the leaves. So I always stamp the more solid image first in the lighter color and then add the more detailed image over top of it. And these are photopolymer stamps, so it makes it pretty easy to see when you're trying to line them up. I've had pretty good luck with them. Oh, Amy, the stamp set is Leaves of Holly. It is beautiful, and it does have the coordinating dies. They are called the Hollyberry dies. And of course, you always want to buy these as a bundle because you will get the bundled price, which is 10% off. Beautiful, beautiful stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to start with, like I said, the more solid berry. And just go ahead and stamp that. And you know what? I'm going to stamp it again. I think I'm going to just press a little bit lighter. So this is not really that big of a deal, but you can, I don't know if you can see, there's a teeny little part there on the stamp. It's really not even noticeable, but when I was making this card, when I was practicing it this morning, I noticed that if I didn't push as hard, then I got a perfect image. So take a lesson from me. Don't press too hard on that. And because it is photopolymer, I am stamping on my little grid paper, and my foam mat is underneath that. You want to stamp on something that gives a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take the detailed stamp and just line this up, and let's see how I do. It's easy to do if you're not on camera, right? Yeah, so that's not too bad. That looks pretty good. Normally I would put my face right over it, but I don't want to do that on the camera. So that doesn't look bad. I'll keep that. That's a keeper. And then what I want to do is take I'm done with my cherry cobbler in Real Red. So I'll set those aside, and I'm next going to stamp Christmas Wishes, and that's going to be in the Evening Evergreen. Okay, Christmas Wishes. And then I'm going to die cut these. So I'm going to bring in the little baby, as I call it. I'm going to close up my ink pads. And when I die cut with the baby, I like to use number 2 plates and a number 3 plate. For me, I feel like it's the easiest way to get it to just flow right through the die cutting machine. So I'm going to use, let me pull these dies here. I'm going to use this word die. And normally what I do is stamp first, because then when I line up the die, you can make it so that it's straight, so that your words are straight. And then I'm going to put this one here. And normally what I do is take a Post-it note. Let me see, where are they? Well, you know what? I'm going to just take one of these. And I'm just going to tear this in half. And just gently set that on there. And that's going to hold that in place. And you know what? I want to make sure that I didn't move this one. Yeah, that looks okay. All right. So I like to just take a little Post-it note and just make sure that my die is secure on there. And then I'm just going to run it through. Get my die set up. And see how easy it is to, I don't know how much of this you can see, but hi Linda, hi Carol, hi Jean. Okay. So then these are going to pop right out. So there's my words, Christmas Wishes, and then here are these holly berries, which I love. So cute. Okay, the other thing I'm going to die cut is this label. This is so beautiful. It's very detailed. It has these holly leaves here, and then this good amount of space here for words or whatever. Now, what I have found with this is that when I am positioning this, I'm going to put this with the cut side up, which is not normally the way I do it, but I found, I'm going to spin this around. I found that when I was just reviewing this morning, just making sure of what I was going to make today, I found that I got better results if I put the cut side up. So I'm going to just crank this through, and what I am going to do is go all the way through, and then I'm going to come back. I did it 2 times this morning. I'm going to do a third. 3's a charm, right? And it seemed to cut out that little detailed section a little bit better. Whoops. A little bit better by placing it up like that. Okay, so... Okay. Now I want to show you this part too. This, you actually, it's kind of like, it creates that space there between the outside and the inside. But if you want to, you can actually take some dimensionals and use that to hold in place. And I have a sample here. You can sort of see, it's just a different look. You can save, I'm sorry, I'm not getting on the camera right today, am I? You can see how I have attached that skinny little piece. And what I've done is just taken dimensionals and used them to hold that little piece in half. So it's just a different idea. I'm not going to do that for the card I'm making today. That I'll just throw away. But okay, so let me see how we did with our die. You can use like a pokey tool. I usually just use my paper snips because I always have them handy. And I'm just going to poke. This looks like it cut through pretty well. Yeah, look how easy that comes out. There's a lot of like little skinny pieces here. You just have to be a little bit careful. There we go. Definitely better results doing it this way than just doing it like with the normal way I would do it, with the cutting side down. Put the cutting side up. Yeah, and see, these just come out really easily. Okay, so look how pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Love the detail, and there's something sparkly on it. Go figure. Why are we not surprised? We have bling and sparkle everywhere, right? When we're stamping. Okay, I'm going to slide these little scrap pieces out of the way. And then I think we're ready to put this card together. So I'm going to start with my 4 by 5 1/4 panel of white, basic white. Okay. Then I'm going to take the beautiful piece of designer series paper, and that's going to go right on top of that. And I'm going to put this a little bit towards the right-hand side. Move up, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, you're right, Colleen. Lots of detail on those holly leaves. I think that's what makes it so pretty. Okay, then I'm going to take my embossed circle. This, again, was embossed with the Wintry embossing folder. I'm just going to go ahead and attach that. I've not popped anything. I have not used one dimensional yet on this card, which is not like me at all, is it? But let's see, I'm going to turn that about there like that. Okay, now I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to take this panel here, and I'm going to put that about right there like that, and it is going to be popped up. So I'm going to just put some dimensionals on the main part of that, the center part, I guess I should say. Okay, and that's probably enough. So I'll pull these off. And then I'm going to put just a teeny dab of glue on the end here because I want to make sure that stays flat and doesn't pop up. So that's going to go, just put that about right there, like that. And then that, you can see this lower panel is going to stay flat just like that. Okay, now I am going to use, well, I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to use white baker's twine. Hi, Wendy. How are you, my friend? And I'm going to make somewhat of a loopy bow with long tails because it just seems to fit with this card. So I'm going to just play with these loops a little bit. And you can see I have a pretty long tail here. And that's going to just be tucked right on the edge of that green panel. And I'll do that with some glue dots. Wendy, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but here it's almost spring or summer. It's a beautiful sunny day. We've had some beautiful weather. So you can see my bow, my loops are just going to sort of hang down like that. I can trim it up a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to take my holly berries. They're going to rest right here, right on top of that bow. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to add my words. And I love how the shape of this smaller label coordinates with the shape of this bigger one. You can see that curve. So they're made to be used together. That's why they're in the same bundle, I guess. But Stampin' Up! Is so good at the coordination like that. I just think it's so pretty. Okay, so this is going to be flat, so I'm just going to attach with my glue, and I'll put it just about there, like that. I'm going to pick this up a second and make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay, and then this is just going to go rest over that, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple dimensionals. And I'm just going to put that right. What I'm trying to do is avoid putting a dimensional where the knot of the bow is because, I wonder if I could do it that way. No. You know what? I'm going to move my bow a little bit, just over there to that edge. And then I can put this just like that. There we go. There we go. Okay. Then to finish it, I am going to use, gotta pull them out here. I think they're buried alive. I always have everything all organized and ready. And then I start showing you things and here we go. I put things on top of one another and then I can't find them. So this is what I have. This is kind of a hodgepodge, but these are I think they're called adhesive, seasonal sequins, and they come in like a reddish color, a green, they're all in one pack, a white and a gold. They are currently not available, but I know we'll be getting more in, hopefully sooner rather than later, because they work beautifully with Christmas cards and Christmas colors. So I'm going to just go ahead and I think I'll put a couple of the green ones here. Just a couple. I'll just do 3 like that. Whoops, I got one down here. And then, of course, on the inside of the card, you could add a little strip of the designer paper. You could stamp one of the leaves. Of course, there's some greetings that you could stamp. So that is my card for today. Isn't it pretty? I love these sequins. They're so sparkly and pretty. They just look festive and fun. So that's a pretty quick card. I think the biggest tip from this is when you are die cutting this, to make sure you put it cut side up. Make sure your die is cut side up, and I think you'll be happy with your results. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off today. I am getting ready, like I said, to leave for Vienna, Austria, and I have been crossing off. I have a to-do list of all the last minute things I need to take care of, and I've been crossing things off my list all week, all day today. But I wanted to be sure to check in with all of you and do a quick live. So thank you all for joining me. I can't wait to share everything about this trip. I don't know if I'll be able to post maybe on my Facebook page right here where you're watching some of the things going on, some of the places that I'm at. But if not, I will share everything with you when I return home. So I won't be going live next week, but I hope to see you the following week. So I hope that you all have a great day. And as always, I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you have time to be creative today. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.